What's up, everybody? Today we have a lot to talk about, including some very expected but unexpected MLB news. We got Week 12 in the NFL, and we are going to get right into it. Let's go. What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm here with Brooklyn. As always, my name is Julian. What's going on, BK?
Not much, man. I hope everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving. This is our post-Thanksgiving episode, so much love to everybody. Happy holidays. And yeah, other than that, man, I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on. Like you said, week 12. We got free agency starting to get cooking a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we waiting on some more big news. Hopefully that comes soon.
Yeah, I mean,
and yeah.
there are some big names that are going to be getting revealed soon. I mean, we still got Seeger, we still got Correa, we still got Chris Taylor. Like, there's some names out there, and we'll get into
doubt.
all that. But before we do that, the NFL did have Week 12, and I do want to talk about that. You know how we do it around here, guys. We do the classic winners and losers. NFL Week 12. Burke, who you got for me? Winner or loser?
What you want me to start out with?
Whichever you feel more comfortable with, brother.
Let's start out with the lovely people from Cleveland, Ohio. The Browns.
No.
And the Browns
stink.
They stink. For lack of better words, and not even wanting to use better words because they stink. Simple as that. Yeah. The last couple years, they come in and we expect them to live out our fantasy dreams of Cleveland finally unwriting the wrongs that whatever they did in the past life of pro football, they wanted to right them wrong, and it doesn't happen. They're hobbled. Last night against the Ravens, you just see Baker walking off the field, hobbled, needing his cane, and all that. And I mean, shout out to Baker though. Shout out to Baker. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. He grinds it out. Shout out to Baker. But he hasn't been healthy, and they just keep on throwing him out there. He's not doing much because the team around him just can't get it going. Whether it's Stefanski not being the answer to lead this team, just they seem on paper that they're going to have firepower on the offensive end, stop people on the defensive end. They go get Jadeveon Clowney, but everything just doesn't work out, man. And yeah, I don't see the rest of the year going well for Cleveland at all. So
I mean, you said last week you don't see them winning another game, and here's a big part of it. They can't seem to get their offense and their defense on the same page at all this year. No. They've had games where they score 40 and give up 45. And then this week, they score 10, but they only give up 16. They had 4 picks against, what's his name? Lamar Jackson.
Jackson.
They had 4 picks against him. This is the first game in NFL history that a quarterback has thrown 4 picks and won. The first game ever.
That's the thing. And they're going to play the Ravens again coming out of their bye week.
Yeah.
So that was your game to win.
Right?
And you don't do it. So now the Ravens are going to come back and Lamar's not going to throw 4 picks. And now you guys are going to get stomped in the second game. And
no, I'm right there with you. That's a good loser. Browns, it looked like you guys had a really good chance at a nice little Super Bowl window, and bit by bit, crumble by crumble, it's going down. And now you got Kareem Hunt's dad kind of getting into it, kind of like Odell's, but he said he won't do the videos. But Kareem Hunt's dad, like, putting out social media stuff saying, hey, man, like, clearly Baker's hurt. He's hobbling. The coaches aren't making good decisions. Don't brand me as Odell's dad, but he wasn't fully wrong, is essentially what he said. And
yeah,
I got a loser for you. It's every single one of us. Every single one of us that are watching football this year is a loser, especially if you like big name players. Everybody is getting hurt. Christian McCaffrey's been hurt a majority of this season. I think every quarterback in the league.
Which, speaking of McCaffrey, he's now out for the season for another ankle injury.
Yeah, so he's out for the year after missing a majority of the beginning of the season. Deebo Samuel's going to be out for a couple weeks. He had a groin issue. Dalvin Cook's going to be out a couple weeks. Again, he had a shoulder issue. Then you got all the quarterbacks that have been hurt. Russ missed his first start of his career. Aaron Rodgers missed some time. Dak's actually been healthy, believe it or not, so that's kind of cool. Shout out to Dak.
Shout out to that.
I mean, he missed one game, but like he's been healthy for the most part. But even still, missing one game. We've heard that Matthew Stafford has been hurt and fighting a back injury for a majority of the season. Slant God, what's his name? Michael Thomas has been out all year and most of last season too. Slant God, yes sir, you heard of her. A lot of injuries. Like a lot of injuries, and it is that time of the year. I think TJ Watt just got put on the IR. A lot of people got on COVID. I know Patrick Peterson just went on COVID after just getting off the IR. It's been rough, man. It's been rough. And then, obviously, the 49ers. We can't forget that the 49ers get hurt 19 million times a season, especially if you're a running back over there. Dear Lord.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So if you guys like watching star players and like fantasy football and what team's not on the IR, that's tough. Julio Jones is out. Derrick Henry's out. AJ Brown's out. That's all on the same team. Like, come on.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So we're losers because we don't get to watch the guys we like to play, man. Derrick Henry's fun. Christian McCaffrey's fun. Why is football gotta be so violent? Come on.
You know, who's to say? Who's to possibly say?
Cool. So that's my loser for the week. I think that's a pretty good one. That's really for the year, but I think that's a good one.
Yeah, and injuries they're tough, man. Especially this year. It's been a roller coaster, and not one that like it has ups and downs. It's just been a straight climb to the top, and then you get to the top. That's where they get you nice and ready, and then it's just been straight down, straight down.
Yeah,
so
it's been rough. I got a winner for you though. Okay. I got a winner for you.
Okay.
And it's a pretty interesting winner. The Denver Broncos, man.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos did it exactly how they knew they had to, right? This is a team, they were really good a couple years ago, obviously with Peyton. He retires. Yeah. They have to rebuild. They trade Von Miller. The Rams have won 0 games since acquiring Von Miller. No, they won 1. They're 1-4, I think. They won 1 game since getting Von Miller.
Did he play in that game?
No, he didn't play in their win.
They haven't won a game since getting him.
So they trade Von Miller. They get some pretty good stuff back for him. And then they've made so many good draft picks, especially on the defensive end. Patrick Surtain has 2 interceptions and a pick 6 off Justin Herbert this week. That defense is absolutely no joke. They hold the Chargers to 13 points. And I know the Chargers offense has been up and down all year, but they hold them to 13 points. They're tied with the Chargers in that division. They are now 6-5. They don't have a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's been hurt kind of on and off all year. They've been trying to piece together some offense because Melvin Gordon is kind of good, but is he? And they kind of have some weapons on the outside. Jerry Jeudy's been out all year. So it's been Courtland Sutton, really. Once Jerry Jeudy's back and Courtland Sutton's there, they got 2 legitimate wide receivers. Next year or the year after, whenever they decide to get a quarterback, whether it's trade, however they do it, this is a legitimate Super Bowl team. Legitimate. Deadass. Like, if they get a quarterback, this team will be... If they get a top 12 quarterback next year, this is my Super Bowl favorite coming into next year. I like them that much.
Really?
I like them that much. I really, really do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've made a couple of nice statement wins this year.
Yeah.
So that... got to hang your hat on that. So, shout out. I mean, be dope to see.
Yeah.
Not mad at it.
So that's my winner for the week, and they've just kind of been pieced. They've been figuring it out. They look good. They look really good.
You know who else looks good?
Oh, don't say it. Don't say that cold place out northeast.
You know who else looks good? And I'm not talking about the one in the big city with the other 2 teams that ain't good. I'm talking about
they both won this week.
They did.
Shout out to New York.
Shout out. I'm talking about the clam chowders, the New England Patriots.
Yeah, man.
They look good.
They look good.
They beat the Titans, which
Titans are bad right now. Like, not
they're bad.
in them being bad, but like they don't have an offensive player. Like they just don't.
They're on a 6-game win streak. They take down good amount.
I forgot what the number was, but I want to say it was 34 or 43. It was 134 points or 143 points that they have outscored their opponents in their win streak. The Patriots have.
Really?
Yeah. So they're like,
that's good.
I mean, they won this game 36-13. Like, they're scoring, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, their defense is immaculate. Yeah. They're dope. Mac Jones is looking spicy in that Bill Belichick offense. Right. Everybody around him it's typical Patriots. Like, you just plug and play, do what you need to do, efficient. They make it happen, and you ride with it.
Yeah.
They ride with it. But I'm looking at their defensive stats, and they're don't mind the cameo. They're top 5 and top 10 in a lot of stats, and mostly in the passing game. Yeah. So shout out to that. But I mean, yeah, Mac Jones is looking like a serious contender for offensive rookie of the year, and
probably win it.
Forget about just offensive. Yeah. So, and the big thing with the Patriots that I've been talking about for a couple weeks now is this Buffalo Bills game to really solidify
that they're back,
a top dog in the AFC East.
Not that they have anything to prove, but like, are you back? Yes or no? We'll find out next Monday.
Find out next Monday. Prime time, baby.
Yeah, and to piggyback off my winner, I think the Patriots are literally exactly what I said the Broncos are. Like, I think they're insanely well put together with a great scheme defense, and then the Patriots have maybe not a top 12 quarterback. I don't think Mac Jones is a top 12 quarterback. I don't think Mac Jones might ever be a top 12 quarterback, but he is at least playing the role of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So, I feel it. No.
Yeah, Patriots looking good. Are they the team to beat right now in the whole league? Like, are they the team that you're looking at right now? They're the ones. Is it them?
It's
Yes or no question. Yes or no question. They're a winner.
As of right now, I would say yes. A soft yes, just because there is people right there. So as of right now, this moment, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. I still think it's the Bucs. They had a really impressive win this week, without like Tom going crazy. So the Bucs being able to win a different way, pretty impressive. So I don't think they are yet, but I think they're like getting there for sure. And while we talk about Tom and a certain Lenny on their team, we have an insider that might have a little bit of knowledge on that. You think we should let him go real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Open up the
Gerard,
gates.
come talk to us.
What's up, spectators? It's your boy Gerard, and we're back again with another segment of Fantasy Corner. We're going to dive into all that happened for Week 12. A lot of injuries to cover, but I have some good news for some players that had some pretty slow starts this year. But let's go ahead and get started with our top performers of the week. QB1, no surprise to me, Josh Allen. 260 yards, 4 total touchdowns for 28.7 fantasy points. The Bills killed the Saints on Thanksgiving, and it was a great Thanksgiving for me. Leonard Fournette, 131 total yards, 4 touchdowns for 44.1 fantasy points. Playoff Lenny had an appearance over there in Indianapolis, and it was good to see if he's on your team, but he was on my bench. So Jalen Waddle, 9 receptions, 137 yards, and a touchdown for 28.7 fantasy points. This is what the Alabama wide receiver is capable of doing, and I'm glad he's starting to show that. Jack Doyle is your tight end 1 for the week. 6 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown for 20.1 fantasy points. So, a lot of injuries. I'm going to try to help y'all out, see what we can do. Dalvin Cook owners, I'm sorry, but you know he gets hurt. You know that when you draft him. You need to have Andrew or Alexander Mattinson on your team. He's proved twice this year that he can lead the team if Dalvin Cook is hurt. and he's going to have to do that. We don't know how long his shoulder injury is going to keep him out for, but in that meantime, Alexander Mattison on your team. CMC out for the year for the second year in a row. It sucks. Chuba Hubbard, this should be the pickup for him. However, they're on bye this week, and then when they come back, they got the Bucks twice, they got the Saints, and they got the Bills to play. So Carolina's chances of him blowing up aren't looking too high because those are all really good run defenses. But we'll see what happens with that. Dontrell Hilliard off the Tennessee Titans. He was on the practice squad, and now he's balling out, had a 68-yard touchdown. So if you're still struggling from the Derrick Henry injury and you need someone to decide who to pick, thought it was going to be Deontay Freeman, but it might be Hilliard. Still kind of weighing that one out, but so far it looks like Hilliard has the lead role for right now. Matt Breida, no one's hurt on the Bills, but Matt Breida has had 3 strong games since he's been activated onto the roster. Zach Moss has been delegated as healthy scratches, so I'm looking at Breida as a good ad for that team. Tevin Coleman of the Jets. Michael Carter is still on IR for I think another week or 2, but we were thinking it was going to be Ty Johnson to take over, but Tevin Coleman is who they signed in the offseason to bring them in, so they're looking to go to that route again. So I'm looking at Tevin Coleman. Still kind of shaky if you want to play him though, but if you're desperate, then go ahead and play him. Tony Pollard, Zeke might be rested this week against the Saints on Thursday Night Football. So with that being said, if that's the case, Tony Pollard has been balling out with Zeke there. So I can't even imagine how he's going to ball out without Zeke there. So if he's available, go ahead and get him. Jamal Williams of the Lions. The Lions suck, yes, but Swift might be out for a couple weeks with a shoulder injury. And if he is, pick up Williams. He is a good receiving back, and he's going to have an increased workload. So he's a good add for that team. I still don't know what's up with Alvin Kamara, but Mark Ingram should be back this week for Thursday Night Football. If Alvin Kamara isn't, Alvin Kamara sprained his MCL in Week 9, so I'm looking at Mark Ingram to pick up for that. Westbrook Akine, AJ Brown's on IR. All these IR players, dude, I promise you it sucks. But Westbrook Akine of the Tennessee Titans looks like to be their only solid wide receiver at the moment, so if you need a wide receiver, I'm looking at him. But some positive signs for people who've had some slow starts this year. Brandon Ayuk looks to be balling right now. He had a 90-yard game, and he's looking very good over there for the 49ers. Debo's going to be out for a couple weeks with a groin injury, so Ayuk should have an uptake in receiving yards, receptions, targets, all of that. Darnell Mooney looks like he's the wide receiver 1 over there in Chicago now, and right now there's no debating that. So if he's still available, go ahead and get them. He's been balling out for the past 3-4 weeks in a row. I like the way Mooney looks for the rest of the season. And Jarvis Landry had his second back-to-back good game. Yes, Baker Mayfield is still trash, but it's a good sign to see that Landry's starting to get into the flow of things, and they're starting to rely on him more. But that's it for Fantasy Corner this week. I'm your boy Gerard. Check out Week 12. I think this is Week 12. Whatever week this is, check it out. We'll be back next week. I'll see you guys later.
Gerard, thank you as always for the fantasy insight. And shout out to Brandon Ayuk turning it around, and Mooney for actually finally making Chicago's offense not the worst thing on TV. So shout out to that. I appreciate you guys. And guess what? It's baseball time, and if you guys know us,
beep.
If you guys know
that's
us,
the Brinks truck. That's the Brinks truck getting backed in because people getting bank right now.
Big bank. As of right now, and we just got some news that we're going to break to you, but as of right now, before that news, this was the most expensive MLB free agency of all time in terms of total money given in contracts that is guaranteed. It was previously 2 years ago, it was like $900 million, 950. And before this blockbuster deal that we got to tell you about, it was already at $1 billion, and we're well past that now. So, shout out to organizations that don't typically spend money. There is one that does typically spend money, and they got an absolute dog. Future Hall of Famer, multi-time Cy Young Award winner, Max Scherzer is headed to New York. He's going to Queens, baby. He's going to be the 4th best pitcher in New York. Yeah, fourth. Nestor Cortez is better. Don't sleep. Max Scherzer to the Max Scherzer to the Mets. Oh boy, you better get up. Max Scherzer to the Mets for the highest yearly salary of all time. He's still asleep. 43 million, a little over 43 million, 3-year deal. He has an opt-out after the second year. Absolute madness. How you feel about this?
It's nuts. Shout out to the Mets. They're making moves. This is one of the best offseason movement we've seen from them. Like they make moves every year.
Yeah.
A couple of nice names. Cool. But you go ahead, you get Mad Max. You go ahead, you get Mark Canha.
Yeah.
You go ahead, you get Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah.
You go ahead, you go get Starlin Marte.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We doing something?
Doing a lot.
Talk to me nice.
Doing a lot. And
what you guys doing out there in Queens?
And let me tell you, bro, if the Mets wind up being a super team, and this winds up being something that works out, and they go and win a World Series, everybody take your finger, point it at Steven Matz and his agent. It's their fault. They prodded the bear. They said we were going to sign, didn't sign. They wound up going to St. Louis, 4-year, $44 million. Shout out to him. Go get that money, King. But you told Steve Cohen you were going to sign there. You made him mad. He said, oh, I don't get Steven Matz. I'm going to get Max Scherzer. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Hold on. That's wonderful. But I'm looking at my phone right now. We got breaking news on the Spectators.
What you got?
We got breaking news. One of the top free agents in the game right now, Corey Seeger, going to the Texas Rangers. 10 years, $325 million. Breaking news right now.
Okay, so how much you say?
10 years, $325 million. Corey Seager, Texas Rangers. And
where do the Rangers get this money from?
While we're on the subject of the Texas Rangers, they went and got Marcus Semien.
Best middle infield in the sport.
For $175 for 7 years.
Best middle infield in the sport. Right?
Shout out Texas.
Dude, all right, I know they say everything's big in Texas, but like, where do they get this money from?
I don't know. And they went and got John Gray, too.
And Cole Calhoun.
4 years.
They're almost at $600 million guaranteed between these guys. Where did they get this money from?
I don't know.
Like, what? That is insane. That's actually an insane amount of money. Shout out to Corey Seager. He won't be a shortstop much longer. I think he probably got a year or two left over there. He might not even play shortstop now. They might move Semi in the short. Right?
They got them for a lot of
years and a lot of money. They can do whatever they want with them.
Do whatever you want.
I also don't think the Rangers are done, is the crazy thing. I actually think they're going to wind up getting Clayton Kershaw. I thought this before all this nonsense. Like, I thought the only guy the Rangers were going to get was Clayton Kershaw. Turns out they got John Gray, Corey Seager. Jeez,
and Kershaw's a Texas breed guy,
yeah,
right?
That's why. His family lives out there. Like, I kind of figured that. See, and then if they were going to get a big name middle infielder, first of all, Semien was out of nowhere. I think that came out yesterday, and we were just like, Sammy? What?
Yeah,
I think everybody was kind of shocked about that.
I wasn't ready for it.
I think he saw the 7 years and was like, yeah, got to do that.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else was offering him more than 5, probably. So, Semien, and then Seager's like, wait, y'all got him? And Gray? How much you going to give me? 10 years? Say less. $32 million a year on average is absolutely insane. Their rebuild just got jump-started. I'll tell you what. They got some young guys over there. They got a little bit of talent. I don't think they're going to be great next year. I don't think so.
No.
But will they win 80 games?
I disagree with the not great take. I do think they'll be good.
I said they're not going to be great. That's a different word, brother. They're not gonna win 95 games next year. They are just not. They are missing too much in the relief category. Their starting pitchers aren't like solidified yet. Even with John Gray, he's not like an ace kind of guy. Dane Dunning's still getting his feet wet. Kershaw's on the back end if they even do get him. Like, this team still has some holes.
Naturally.
Adolis isn't going to replicate what he did last year. The outfield outside of him is terrible. Like, they got to fix some stuff. But it's going to be fun at least. And the AL West is just absolutely moving. There's another team out there that did something pretty big. I think that was today. Yeah, it was today. You want to tell him or you want me to tell him? I can let him know.
Yeah, you can go ahead, slide it in.
Reigning Cy Young Award winner, Robbie Ray, going to the Mariners. Look at Seattle going out and making a move. Seattle
5 years, $115 million.
Yeah, and this was a little bit of a kind of surprising move, but not because it happened after Kevin Gausman actually signed a multi-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays get Gausman.
For almost the same.
About the same.
For almost the same numbers, just $5 million less.
Yeah, about the same money. Which is kind of weird that the Blue Jays go after Gausman and not try and keep Ray. Like, that was kind of bizarre to me.
Yeah, if that $5 million was really what was gonna hold you guys back from signing your Cy Young pitcher,
weird.
What are we doing here?
Weird,
but to each its own. Do what you want to do.
I actually think Kevin Gausman is going to be worse than Robbie Ray next year. You can book that for me. I think he's going to be worse than Robbie Ray next year. So I think this is actually a mistake from the Blue Jays. Not a big one. I think he's going to be good, but I think he'll be worse. Feel me?
Heard.
But Robbie Ray going to the Mariners. The Mariners, they have a lot of young talent. Julio Rodriguez is coming up. Kelnick's there. Taylor Trammell's out there. They got Evan White on the forefront. He's coming up. Obviously, you still got Kyle Lewis. You got some guys. Mariners.
You do.
Good. And even the Angels making some moves. They went and got Michael Lorenzen the other day. He's going to be like a fringe starter type of guy. And then they also got Noah Syndergaard. Don't forget, when Syndergaard is healthy, he is one of the elite pitchers in this game. He has strikeout stuff. He's really electric. Thor is going to be healthy, and Thor is ready to help Mike Trout.
They add Aaron Loop to that, too.
Yeah, and Aaron Loop had a fantastic year over at the Mets. So it looked like for a second that the Angels are just going to be sweeping all the old Mets players. Which, if you're a Mets fan, you're like, oh, the Mets suck. Why would you do that? No, the Mets players don't suck. It's just like,
the Mets
suck. It was just whatever it was. Well, not anymore. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
You drink that Citi Field water and you just...
It's Citi Field Kool-Aid, but that's not Kool-Aid. It was just normal water. It just tastes a little funky.
Is it colored, too?
Who knows? You gotta close your eye. They blindfold you before you drink it and sign your contract away.
No. You come into the office. They got the contract laid out. They got the cup. It's like one of those stadium cups with all the players on it. Yeah. They got a little top on it too.
It's the plastic one you can't see through. It's the orange one.
Yeah. And then you take a sip.
They said sign and sip. You're like, me?
It's good. Go ahead. Give me the pen.
Now you're on the toilet for days.
Right here. And now you're trapped. And now you're trapped.
No, you're not trapped. Look at Yoenis Cespedes. That man just walked out. He just didn't show up. That's enough Mets land. They had a great week. We'll let them be happy for a little bit. We'll see.
The Mets are. I did see they're trying to get Chris Bryant too, right?
Where's he gonna play? Well, Michael Conforto is a free agent, and I've heard grumblings that Jeff McNeil actually might be on the trade block. So,
I did too.
Interesting stuff. Smaller move. Jacob Stalling goes to the Marlins. I almost said Mariners. Marlins. After the Marlins actually re-signed Sandy Alcantara for a 5-year, $56 million deal, and they go and get Avisail Garcia for 5 years, $56 million. So the Marlins, Mariners, and the Rangers, known winning franchises, went out and spent a lot of money this weekend. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I love to see it. I want to see bad teams try to be good.
Well, the cool part about this, too, the Rangers and the Mariners have never won a World Series. So they're just like, hey, we have something that could potentially be something. Let's try and win a World Series. You're not going to win one by twiddling your thumbs and thinking about the old days when you used to have Vita Blue and Catfish Hunter. Yeah, I'm looking at you, A's. The only American League West team to not sign anybody yet. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Connor, turn this off, Connor.
Yeah,
Connor,
I'm
turn
looking
this
at
off.
you. Because, dude, okay. Small rant. If I'm an A's fan, I am sick seeing the Rangers and the Mariners spend money. I'm sick. Right? Sick to my stomach. That's it. It's a small rant. I'm sick.
Okay.
That's all it was. I just wanted
I'm getting comfortable. I was giving you the floor. I was getting comfortable.
Like, I would legitimately, especially if they leave, like, I would think about either not following baseball anymore or finding a new team. Legitimately.
Which we talked about it a while ago. There was actually a season ticket holder for the A's for about 25 years who was saying that it's coming to that point where she's just sick and tired of it.
She's not going. That article said
just
she's like,
sick and tired of it. And it's like when you're doing stuff as an organization to let down your true diehard fans for any extended period over 10 years.
You're doing something wrong.
For literally having them think about not supporting you, not coming to your games, even potentially switching teams. Yeah. You have to reevaluate what you're doing over there.
Too. It's not like this is...
Yeah, it's not like the Rays or
no, it's not like the Kraken who are brand new and then they're not going to spend money. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, duh.
And speaking of the Rays and spending money, I'll put you on another platform for another rant. I'll set you up for this. Wander Franco signed a 12-year, $223 million. Did I... Off the top of my head,
I think it's 183 right? Fully guaranteed, and then the last year or two aren't. There's like a team clause, I think.
So they lock down their young star, and I give the floor to Julian.
Before I go into that, Corey Kluber also signs there, and I think today they signed one of their lefty relievers. I can't remember his name, but they signed a couple guys and they gave some good money. So shout out to
them. And they also let Michael Wacha walk to the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's bad.
Bad.
But
nice.
They go get Corey Kluber, who, if he's healthy, could be really, really good on the Rays. It could be a Charlie Morton 2.0. It could just be a dude who doesn't pitch like a lot of Rays last year because they were really hurt last year. My rant on Wander Franco. I'm kind of over it at this point. It happened early last week, and I was really mad.
He's over it because off camera, he's ranted about it I was really 7 times.
I'm really happy for Wander. He's an exceptional player. I think he's going to be fantastic in this league, and that's why I'm upset about this. He locks himself down for 12 years. He is 21 years old. He locks himself down until he is 33, making $18 million a year. When we just watched Corey Seeger, who is a worse defender, less speed, worse arm, and probably in 2 years going to be a worse hitter, signed for like $170 more million for 2 less years. Now, granted, Corey Seager's proven, and that's part of this deal. Like, Wander was like, hey, I've played 60 games, but I could be really good. Give me the money. But it just feels like the Rays, for the first time, decided to spend money because they knew they were taking advantage of a young kid who's never seen a lot of money in his life and an agent who wanted a piece of that pie. Did I leave anything out? Am I missing anything?
No, and a prime example of somebody that we felt the same way about was Ronald Acuna for the Braves.
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, so I'm not going to throw them out there. But the years and the numbers, it was just like, why? Yeah. Like, I feel you get your money,
Acuna
but you're worth more.
was a little different because he had a small injury history, which clearly is like more of a factor now, despite them still winning a World Series without him. But he did have a somewhat of an injury history, so it was like, I get a little bit less, but Acuna and Albies got absolutely fleeced. If you guys know the numbers on that, let me know. But I don't remember it.
They got so fleeced.
Yeah. And they're like locked. I think Acuna has like 8 more years on his deal. And he's a top 5 player in baseball now and last year, and he's like 8 more years. It's like...
Yeah, because looking at it at the time, it was just like, why?
It was weird. It was really weird.
Like, you're worth so much more than that.
Yeah, and obviously as an organization, you're happy about it. And as a fan, you're happy about it because your team has more flexibility. And maybe even as a player, you're like, hey, I'm taking less, and it's still a lot of money, which $18 million a year is an insane amount of money. But, like, at the same time, it's really cool to win and all, but if you don't, like, look at yourself first, and in Wander's case, there's not any no-trade clause. In 6 years, Wander Franco will not be on the Rays in 6 years. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. But as a young player taking more for your franchise to build, I don't like it. If you're an established player
and you're like trying to get the ring,
if you're established, you're in your like your third contract. Cool, take less money because you got your money. You got your money. What's an extra like 15 mil coming from the guy who doesn't even have a mil? But what's an extra like 15 mil when you're already in like the 150, 200 mil range? Like, you feel me?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm sitting here pocket watching people, and I'm missing 3 drawers out of my.
That boy got the boneless dresser.
Boneless dresser right now. So it's tough for me to pocket watch, but like, come on, man.
Well, it's just like what I'm trying to get at is just like you don't have that cushion of having 150 to 200 mil just
already
racked up over the course of your career, whatever you're doing with it. If you're blowing through it, then you know what? Don't take that less than 15 to bring in a superstar. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Probably talk to somebody to invest your money.
Well, you know who's a good example of this, and a prime example of this? Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo was Mr. Cub Jr., right? Obviously, Ernie Banks is Mr. Cub, but he was Mr. Cub Jr. He was there for all the bad years. And then he was there. He built that team. He took less money so that they could re-sign people. They can get Javi Baez under contract. They can go get Chapman. They can go get this guy. They can go get John Lester. Chris Bryant obviously needed to be paid. He took less money so that they can make that team work. They went and won a World Series. His contract expired this year. What did the Cubs do? Traded him.
Yeah. So.
And now he's kind of on the decline. He's not going to make that $22, $24 million a year that he might have made 2 years ago if he signed a 5, 6 year, 7 year deal. He's just not going to. Anthony Rizzo is going to be lucky to make $12 million next year. Unless somebody's like desperate for a first baseman, which the Yankees might be, by the way. Desperate to re-sign him for more than that.
The Yankees are looking like they're going to be desperate for a lot, but the way this offseason is going. Also, leaving all the teams and players on the table, speaking of this MLB offseason, there's something looming for tomorrow that we do have to touch on before we walk out of here for this episode.
Before we even touch on that, right, I actually got some news about that I wanted to bring up. I got an article in front of me that's saying some of the new things that they are proposing in these CBA discussions, right? Obviously, they're probably talking about universal DH, and they're talking about, like, substances that pitchers can use for control. Like, obviously, those are going to be involved. But part of it is an expanded playoff. We were talking about this a little bit not yesterday, actually earlier today. Their format would be 14 teams. This is the proposed format. 7 from each league. And then it's 4 more than currently play, right? The 3 division winners, and then 4 wild card teams. The team with the best record in each league gets a bye. The other teams all play each other in the first round. So 7 teams each side. 1 overall gets a bye. The other 6 play each other as normal seeding matters go. Then you play the playoffs. I like this a little bit because there's no 1-game wild card, right?
Yeah.
1-game wild card's brutal, man. It's brutal.
Especially in baseball where it all really lies on who you got pitching. And it's like...
Yeah. And this would turn into a 3-game wild card. So...
and that's fine.
Wild card. So that's like cool better. It's a normal series. Like, there's stakes. Like, if you win 2 in a row, cool. Like, you deserved it more than just the one and done. So...
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not super mad at that. And then I believe the other proposal, I'm trying to find it here real quick, is a lottery-style draft, which I don't know what that really does because tanking isn't super a thing in the MLB just because of, like, how draft picks work and, like, how long it takes for them to come up and all that.
But the thing is, when you look at baseball, the number 1 overall pick is usually making strides in the MLB. So,
or at least like going to,
I do feel that because we say it all the time. What are you tanking for? You gotta wait however
Yeah.
long. Who even knows your prospect? Just packing pretty much. But I mean, it makes sense because, like I said, the number one pick is usually there,
Yeah.
and then 1 through 10, like more often than not, you're probably gonna see them in anywhere from 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're definitely right. It's just like less immediate than, uh, like NBA, or for example, or like NFL.
But that's the thing with MLB tanking. Like, it takes a while for the rebuild, so you go ahead, you tank for that year, and then by the time you're able to do a full rebuild on the pro side of it, that guy is probably a year or two are ready to come up.
Yeah. Well,
And you
and look
just
at the
you slide
Rangers.
him
Like,
in.
they're a great example of that. Like, they still have all their
Yeah.
young guys down, but they're gonna be ready in about a year or two, or maybe 3. And we've talked about it before. We thought the Rangers were gonna be a decent team in 3 years anyway. Like, without
Yeah.
signing anybody, I thought they were gonna be a
Yeah.
decent team. So here
No
they
doubt.
are, speeding that up. A great example too is the Astros. Like, they were awful for a decade, bad. They go get Correa, they got Altuve, they got Kyle Tucker, they got George Springer, they drafted all those guys. Jordan, they went and got. They did a really good job too with the international money. That's a really underrated factor in the MLB, is like the international money. Like, I think Jason Dominguez is going to be one of the best players in the league in like 3 years, 4 years, whenever he's up and has like a year or two under his belt, and that's international money. So, underrated part of organizations. The Astros did a great job. So, I'm not against a lottery. It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of seen in the NBA, it doesn't fully work. And it's like really, really negative towards those middle of the pack teams. But I don't think that gets put there, truthfully. I don't think so. But I hope that playoff does, though. I'd be down with the playoff expansion.
Yeah, and then they're talking about universal DH as well.
Yeah.
And what we hinted at before we got into the nitty-gritty of it all is tomorrow there is a MLB lockout looming if they do not come to an agreement
by midnight
for the new CBA, which expires.
Yeah. So December 1st, if they don't agree, there will be a lockout. It could be a week, it could be 2, it could be a year. We don't know.
It could go into the season.
Who knows?
So
that's why a lot of these deals happened yesterday and today, because people are trying to get their bag before we realize there's no season coming up. And if
that's the thing, maybe some of these deals don't happen. If,
no, 100%. I mean, if Max Scherzer, if we get locked out, right, and Max Scherzer didn't sign, and we didn't play next year, Max Scherzer would, instead of making $43 million this year, would probably be making like 13, because it would be a year off of pitching, and he would be 38 years old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Verlander deal.
Yeah.
Like, Verlander right now, if healthy and picked up where he was, is objectively a better pitcher to Max Scherzer. But since he was hurt for a year, he's older. He got $22 million versus $43. Crazy what that does, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So I think that's about everything. The last thing I want to touch on is Carlos Correa still hasn't signed. Javi Baez still hasn't signed, which is kind of surprising. I thought he was going to sign before Corey Seager. Trevor Story. I think those are the big guys. And then obviously Clayton Kershaw. I don't think there's any like other really, really big name. Freddie Freeman, obviously, but I think he's staying. Anthony Rizzo, as I mentioned.
Freddie Freeman, Kenley Jansen, Kyle Seeger.
Yeah, so that's where we start to teeter off once you get to like Kershaw. Yeah. So.
But there are some names.
Yeah,
all
there's
the
definitely
way down.
names, just not so much of like the value that they once provided. But hey, who knows? What do I know? I'm just some dude.
We're just spectators. We're just spectators, and you can spectate with us every week on Mondays and every day on our social medias @_the spectators on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Please give us a follow. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching it. If you're not, go ahead and head over there and hit a subscription on wherever you're listening to this on your podcast app. So once again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to catch you next week.
Yeah, guys.
So Peace.
Later, everybody. Also, happy Hanukkah to all my homies out there.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Take it easy, guys. We will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.